Hello, I'm Kaylee White, and this is Kinster Peace Theatre. Today we are discussing two major composers who are still making music today, Friedrich Chopin and Claude Debussy. We are looking at their past, their music, and their legacies. We were able to get an interview with both men. Here is what they said. Hello everyone, and welcome to our show. We have a special guest here today. It's Mr. Friedrich Chopin. Hi, Mr. Chopin.
Hi, hello everyone.
Glad to have you on our show. We just have a couple of questions for you today. So, here we go. Number 1. Where were you born? What era and where did you live?
I was born in Poland during the Romantic period. I lived near Warsaw.
You said Romantic period. What is that?
The Romantic period was Romanticism. It valued life and looked to nature for refuge, inspiration, and revelation.
Huh. Okay. So, who was your father and your mother, and what did they do?
My father, Nicholas, was a teacher, and my mother, Tekla, was Polish.
What is your hobby?
Well, I like the piano. I love to perform, and I love writing songs about my homeland, Poland.
Did you ever get married? Did you have kids?
I never got married, but I was deeply interested in a novel writer, Aurore Dudevant. We were involved for about 9 years, and no little Chopins.
Wow, that's interesting. So, what do you consider your biggest accomplishment, and what was your greatest enjoyment?
I'd have to say teaching. I love teaching students the art of understanding the piano, and I love making music, and to infiltrate the mind with the same passion as mine is just, well, delightful.
Oh.
My greatest enjoyment spilled onto the page. Composition after composition, and exposing of my heart would have to be my greatest enjoyment.
Wow. Did you by any chance know Debussy?
No, I was born several years per his time, so I didn't get to know him. Plus, I kind of went to a faraway land before he was born.
I hear something in the background. Is that one of your pieces? What's it called?
Yes, it is, sorry, I wrote so many. It's not, sorry, I wrote so many. I believe this is my prelude in D flat major, also called Raindrop. Yes, I remember this one like it was yesterday.
Well, is that you playing? And do people still play the music you've written? Because it's beautiful.
Yes, it's me. And yes, I hear people playing my pieces from time to time. It warms my heart to think that after all these years of writing, decades and centuries later, people still enjoy them. It makes me think I should have a proper copyright.
I understand what you mean. If you could give one piece of advice to any musician, composer, or performer, what would you say and why?
That's hard to say. Do you write or play? Well, I guess I'd tell you that music is in the soul. Music is defined by what you feel, and it is your responsibility to get that feeling on the page. It is your responsibility to make sure that the listener can hear your emotion and can add his own to the mix. Don't ever let your emotions make you feel weak, because that's what makes a piece fairly unique.
Well, thank you so much for meeting with us today, Mr. Chopin. It was an honor and a privilege to chat with you, and I wish you well on your journeys.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that about wraps it up for this episode, folks. Back to life with one of the greats. Next up, the Coliseum. And stay tuned for Back to Life with One of the Greats Part 2, featuring Mr. Claude Debussy.
No, I like that man.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Betty Darby, signing off.
Hey y'all, welcome back to part 2 with one of the greats. We have a special guest here today. Please welcome Mr. Claude Debussy.
Hello everyone.
Hi Mr. Debussy, glad to have you on our show.
To be here.
We just have a couple of questions for you today. Here we go. Where were you born and what era? Where did you live?
I was born in France. Paris, actually. During the Impressionistic era, even though I do not like this term.
What was the Impressionistic era, and why do you not like that term?
Oh, it's overrated. But Impressionism is just that impression of how something affects you. Painters played a huge role on an introductory lesson to this era. By the way, pictures were. They would paint a picture, but would be careful to leave out just enough detail so that the onlooker could finish the picture.
That's a great point. Who was your father and your mother, and what did they do?
Oh, good old Manuel and Victorine Debussy. My dad was a soldier for a time, but kind of lost his way. I don't really know what my mother did, but she was there sometimes. I have 4 siblings, and I'm the oldest and the favorite. That's why I know my mother was around.
What are your hobbies?
I guess my hobbies would have to be performing. I enjoy it, but I write more than I perform.
What do you consider your biggest accomplishment, and what was your greatest enjoyment?
My greatest accomplishment, I would say, was winning the Prix de Rome. I studied for 2 long years to make that happen. Probably one of the greatest moments of my life.
Wow. Did you ever get married or have kids?
Well, yes, hastily I must admit, to Miss Tilly Texia, wasn't really in love with her, and I ended up having a child and marrying the child's mother, named Emma.
Did you by chance know Chopin?
No, but I know his works. I was several years born after he disappeared. Still really don't know where he went, but I know he was very influential.
I hear something in the background. Is that one of your pieces?
Yes. I like to play it from time to time. It is a piece called Arabesque, number 1, in E major. I wrote this about the beauty of nature.
I love it.
Thank you.
Is that you playing, and do people still play the music you've written?
That is me playing. And I've heard rumors of musicians using my style in things like jazz and other contemporary items. I heard this music, and it sounds great to me. So yes, I think people are still playing my music.
I sure hope so. If you could give one piece of advice to any musician, composer, or performer, what would you say and why?
That is a very good question. Well, I would say keep it innovative. Music is always a picture. It's always a picture of the heart.
Well, thank you so much for meeting with us today, Mr. Debussy.
You're welcome.
It was an honor and a privilege to have a chat with you today. I wish you well on your journey. Well, that wraps it up for this episode. Signing off, I'm Caroline Jacobs.